Welcome to Bon Jovi Discussions. Today I have my friend who is all the way over in Madrid, Spain, Penelope. How you doing, Penelope?
I'm fine. How are you, Jerry?
I'm doing good. I'm going to have you on again sometime so we can kind of just talk about our favorite band and talk about this and that. But today we are going to talk about this bad boy right here. Look at that. Team Vinyl, right?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
this is a masterpiece.
sure is. We'll get into the album cover, but don't you just love it's like one of my favorite album covers.
Same here. I love it. I don't know, composition, the color, everything. Everything.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's so simple yet it speaks volumes. And
Exactly. Yeah.
I love the back of it. It's great. So for those that are watching, they already know what this album is these days. It is the band's sixth studio album, which is actually the first album without bassist Alec John Such because he was fired, quit, whatever you want to call it, the year
Hmm.
prior to that. It was officially released here in America. I knew here in America at least June 27th, 95. Was it released at the same time over there?
I
Same
think it
day?
was
Of
a week earlier. Yeah, I think it was a
course.
week earlier.
It
Yeah.
was, it was produced by Peter Collins, which John had never worked with before. I don't think they ever worked together after this either, which is strange.
Yeah.
Uh, but this album has kind of a more of which what I really like about it is I think it was one of the very first albums, not first albums, but one of those albums that you really see John's lyric writing. So heavy and very. I think this is when he really hit his peak lyrically.
Absolutely.
And it also has a big, and I think Richie Sambora has lots of influence on this. It has a heavy rock and blues type sound.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
and did you know that this album was actually going to be titled Open All Night, and then it was changed to Strip?
Yeah.
I'm glad it wasn't called Strip because I, I don't
I
know how well.
know.
It's kind of like how Crush is going to be called Sex Sells. Excuse my language,
I
but
know.
thank God that got changed.
I
But
know.
and then so John has said that he eventually changed it at the end of the recording to These Days, because These Days was actually one of the last ones they had written, and
Hmm.
it's all obviously we know that it's about the world going on, and it's so funny because 25 years later, especially with the world that we're in right now with the pandemic, this album still speaks. It's,
Absolutely.
it's incredible. But anyway, this album was first recorded in Woodstock, New Jersey, which was in John's first home, which was Sanctuary One, he
Hmm.
called it. And then some of it was recorded in LA. But before that, what's funny is that they actually started record. The first song that they wrote and recorded was "Something to Believe in." Did you know that?
Yeah, I have
Of course you did.
after Keep the Faith.
What's that?
I think it's after Keep the Faith. That was the first one he wrote, right?
Yeah, I think he started writing this a month after the Keep the Faith tour ended in '93, and so they
Yeah.
went to Nashville and they recorded a few songs, and John just didn't like it, and so he erased it completely.
Mhm.
I'd like to hear those demos if they're even around.
Oh yeah.
Um, and then they recorded part of Diamond Ring and It's Hard Letting You Go in LA, and I think that got erased too. I'm not 100% on that. But one thing that we all talk about in this fandom together is how dark and heavy it is as an album. And all the critics, back then, even still today, they say that this is one of John's darkest albums. And it's funny because John says it is one of his most optimistic. And
Yeah.
you look at it and go, what? How? Because it's so dark and like their song, and we'll get to these songs, like songs like It's Hard Letting You Go. As soon as those keys start at the beginning, that puts you in a depressive mood.
I know. Yeah, but I think I kind of get it because when people ask him, running away tours and all that, um, why is this days? Why does it have that kind of dark? atmosphere around it. And he always says what you just said. No, we were in a really optimistic position. I
Yeah.
think I get what he wants to say is that this album for me represents also the transition from innocence to adulthood. So maybe what he wants to say is that he found he found himself in a comfortable position to say the things he wanted to say. And of course, the world is a dark place sometimes,
Oh yeah.
but you get the feeling that in some songs and some
Yeah.
lines, you get the feeling this is dark, but we kind of get it too. You're not
Yeah.
alone in this.
E-
So
e- Exactly. I think after I've listened to this album so much over the last 20 years, I think it's one of those albums that is so dark. It's kind of like one of those albums that misery likes company. And so, like, when you're
exactly,
down and depressed, you want something to join you. Like, My Guitar Lies Bleeding is one of those perfect examples. But you find the light at the end of the tunnel. It's like a journey coming together, find that light at the end of the tunnel. So I guess there is
exactly.
optimism in it. But they wrote and demoed, I think, about 30 to 40 songs for this album. And
Hmm.
we've heard quite a bit of them too, which we'll get to. And I didn't know this. This is one of the very few facts that I didn't know until maybe last year. But this was actually supposed to be released in 1994 in lieu of Crossroads. But then John
Yeah.
wasn't finished with it. I think this had a lot to do with erasing what he did in Nashville. But so they
Hmm.
released Crossroads, fired Alec because they weren't in the recording process yet, and then they obviously released it June of '95.
Yeah,
Um,
that's right. Because then we got Crossroads with Someday and Always, so that's great.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And what's such a bummer too is this is like one of the very first Bon Jovi albums that was not very successful here in America, but
Well, my mind blew up when I heard that the first time. I
yeah.
gotta tell you.
Well, I live in a country here in the States where people just like the hits and that's it. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
This album is just a masterpiece. But
Yeah.
it was huge in Europe and Asia, and it was so huge over there that you guys got this gem right here, which is
Yeah, I don't have it here with me because
yeah,
as I was telling you, I'm about to move, but I got that. I love
yeah.
it.
It's such a
I just
great
love
out.
it.
There's a lot of cool. And you guys got here in America. It ended with Diamond Ring. You guys have the version of All I Want Is Everything and Bitter Wine.
I don't know
Yeah,
if you can see them there.
yeah.
Yeah, actually,
So
Beauty One is one of my favorites.
yeah, another thing that I like about this box set too is that it includes like covers, like live covers and demos and all that. Um, but and then another one last thing before we move on to talk about the album is
Hmm.
the album cover. Like we were talking about at the beginning, just how cool it
I
is.
love it.
Um,
This is a poster. This is I don't know.
yeah,
The album itself is a poster. I mean, it's
no, it
amazing.
sure is. It was photographed in Mexico by a guy named Mark, and forgive me if I'm wrong, Mark Seliger, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
And the band didn't like it. I actually heard this was going to be the album cover here in America, but I don't know.
Mm.
But they didn't like this album cover very much. But then at the end, I think the record company just said just to go with it, so they did. Um, anyway, before we get into the songs, let's talk about the tour because I became a
Oh,
fan in 2000. When did you become a fan?
1995.
Oh, okay. So
This
this is like
this is my
this,
era.
see, I didn't become a fan until 2000, but I was this tall, 8 years old. If I
Yeah.
if I could go back in time to pick a tour to go see, it would have been this one.
This
Especially,
was my first tour.
yeah. What show did you go to on this tour?
Madrid, just Madrid, because I was 12 years old,
Yeah.
and I begged. One day I came home, my mom had the tickets. I cried, I screamed, and my brother took me. And it's the only Bon Jovi show I wasn't front row because obviously I was still 12. It was
Yeah.
amazing. It was amazing.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
if I could go back to any show that they've ever done and see, you know what one it would be? It
Which
would,
one?
it would be the legendary Wembley.
Same here. Same
My,
here.
because they did 3 nights there, and always the performance of Always that's on this DVD is just blows me away.
I
On
I
freaking
know.
band's best performance, hands down. You know,
I know.
and just the entire show too. It's just I missed it. Like something that's so big in the band's history.
No.
But that's
I
one
know.
show I could have seen. This was actually this is the first of one of the shorter tours. I think it was shorter than the Keep the Faith tour too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think. Yeah, I think so. I think it was just 2 years, and there were not much
Yeah,
shows. I remember.
yeah. They started in April '95, ended in July '96. They did, I think, 6 or 7 legs. They went to. I wrote down the countries: Europe, North America, Oceania, Africa, South America, and Asia. And they did
Amazing.
131 shows. What I really liked about this tour too was that they incorporated. I don't think it happened until like later on in the tour, but they did a acoustic set.
Oh yeah, in Madrid they did it. It was
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
you got to see that. I'm gonna
Yeah, I
die
got
of
to see that.
jealousy. Oh,
I know.
that did they do In These Arms during that?
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
I
I'll
should
die
have
for you.
looked at. I should have looked at the list. They did In Disarm, Diamond Ring. Oh, I know there was one more. Should have looked it up. But yeah, 3 songs. It was
Wow.
absolutely amazing. I
I'm
couldn't see
jealous.
them well. Yeah, it was. The first time you see your idols there. This tour. In that moment, it's something big for you, obviously, but you don't realize that what you're living is, fan history. Now when I think about it, it was an amazing night. And John had a problem with the allergies. He usually does when he comes here to Madrid because it's really bad. And the actual show only lasted like 145 minutes because
Really?
yeah, it was really bad. And I remember I was bad with my allergies myself. And we didn't notice the show was so amazing. We didn't notice it was short. And then a couple of days later, because we didn't have the internet and all, well, Twitter and all that. A
Yeah.
couple of days later, we saw on the news that John Bon Jovi was rushed to the hotel because he was really, having problems with his breathing and all that. And we said, oh yeah, maybe the show was supposed to last a bit longer, but it was so amazing that nobody said like, wow, this is short. It was great. It was incredible.
Diehards like us, we're used to 2 to 3 hour shows, so
Yeah, I
when you get a
know.
2 hour show, sometimes you're like,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, I know.
But hey, let's start digging into the album. Let's go track by track. So we'll
Sure.
start off with Hey God, which was actually the fifth and final single that they released in
Mhm.
June of '96, right before the tour was ending. It was written by John and Richie, and John has stated many times that he wrote it in his basement with Richie.
Mhm.
Uh, and he got inspired by, I guess he was in New York City. He looked out his hotel window and, saw a lot of homeless people, begging for food and shelter and all that. And, you know, we were talking about how this album really influences today's world. This song does as well, because it feels like we're so alone right now. And, we both know that John is very, I wouldn't say very religious, but he's religious. And
Mhm.
this is one of those songs that just makes you question: do you ever think about, hey God, do you ever think about me? You feel alone, basically. What's your take on
Exactly.
this? On
Well,
this?
at first I would say I think it's an amazing way to open an album. Uh, the first time you listen to this album, the way it opens, I mean, it blows me away. And then what you're saying, you're totally right. I mean, you can be a religious person, you can have your faith, but when you're in a position like the people they're talking in that song, makes you doubt. You
Yeah.
know, I know how busy you must be, so I still believe there is a God. But do you ever think about me?
Yeah.
I'm on
Yeah.
your list somehow.
Yeah, you feel forgotten, especially like these homeless people who are begging for food and shelter, something that's a basic human need. And I won't get political here, but shelter and food is a basic human right and need, and you just feel like
Exactly.
you're forgotten about in society because you're pretty much spit on, you know.
Mhm.
So and like you said, it's one of those songs that it starts the album off so well. What I really like about it is you kind of hear like a studio. Like I
Yeah.
think John goes, "You ready?" And then Richie goes, "Just about." And then all of a sudden you hear the
Let's go.
music and
Yeah.
the drumming going in, and it's not a typical Bon Jovi sound. I think it was like I believe, but twice as heavy. You know,
Exactly. It's like I believe um, has this song
yeah,
that sound. I mean, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
And another thing that kind of this is one of the very few music videos. Usually music videos kind of match the song pretty well, gives you a bigger story. This video never made sense to me. Because I think
Really?
the band is just like in a smoky room. It just shows random people, but it's not telling the story with these random.
Yeah.
You just see like people's faces. Okay, well, what are these people doing? It never gets to that, so you kind of like, where was this video? It's a good video, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't really complement the song, you know?
No, but I get what you're saying. I think the feeling I get when I see this video, I'm not sure obviously if that's true or not. Is that okay? We released the final single. We have to make a video.
Yeah.
Let's play here and then create a story, a follow the story.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, yeah, I get what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah.
And I've actually never gotten to see the song live, unfortunately. Have you? Except for these
But
days tour?
no, actually, they didn't play it in Madrid,
Uh,
and I never heard like.
it is, I love the YouTube videos, and I love that he plays a tambourine in this song. And, but I've yet to see the song live, but I really hope to one day if we even get lucky,
Me,
you know?
me too. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go to the next one. Something for the Pain.
Okay.
This was actually
Amazing.
when I was 8 years old, discovering the band's catalog. I really couldn't get into this album because I couldn't relate to a lot of it. But Something
Mhm.
for the Pain was one of those songs that really, so okay, I like this song because it's more of a fun song in a way.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was the second single released in September of '95, I think the 14th. It was written by John Ritchie and Desmond Child. Um,
Mhm.
and John has said in a lot of interviews back during these days era that this was one of those songs that he had the most trouble writing because he couldn't get the chorus right.
Oh yeah.
And they couldn't find the right chorus. So then he said he almost scrapped it. And then I guess Richie or Desmond or whoever, I don't remember, kind of finished it, and then it just fit perfect. Um,
Yeah.
one of the things that really stands out to me on this song is Richie singing more, especially like the bridge. You know,
Yeah. So
I love.
different, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you never saw that in earlier Bon Jovi stuff, so it was kind of cool to see. Like I said earlier, I think Richie really influenced this album. I think he
Yeah.
got more of a spotlight as far as a sound goes and being more vocal. Um,
Mhm.
and then you know, a lot of people think I'm crazy, but I'm also crazy about Tico's drums on this song. I know it's simple, but it's so
Yeah.
smooth and it's just the way it hits, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but
You're right.
yeah,
No, absolutely.
what's your take on the song?
Well, this was the song that was a single when I became a fan. I actually discovered the band through Crossroads, and my song that changed my life was "Someday I'll Be Saturday Night." But this was the song that was playing on the radio and all that during that time. So it touches my heart now.
Yeah,
I don't know, and I love the song. The funny thing about this song is that I was learning English by that time. So I remember I had this book with the lyrics in English and Spanish. And when you hear the first time the song, I kind of catch some words and all that. I when I read the whole song, I thought, wow, this is not what I was expecting. When you hear that upbeat song, you know that kind of what you said. It's like a not a party song, but it's it has
It's fun.
that rhythm. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun.
And
So when I read the whole lyric, this is not what I was expecting, and I love it. I
yeah,
just love it.
you kind of listen to it and wonder what the true meaning of it is. But to me, I think it's all about having nothing to get you through the night, to get you through anything, and you're pretty much alone, and you're looking for
Mhm.
something for the pain, you know. So I think that's what it's
Exactly.
all about. And this I've seen this song live. I saw it on the Circle tour when the whole band came out on the Circle, and they performed it acoustic. And Tico had like a beatbox or something,
Yeah.
and David played the accordion, which was so cool and
Oh, that
so
was
on the
amazing.
stage.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
it's
but
amazing.
I've always wanted to see the actual version played.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
okay,
me
well,
too.
and music
Yeah,
video.
me too.
This is one of the more fun music videos that they did, which I love.
Absolutely.
Um, because you have this kid basically going to the record store, which you don't see many of these music stores anymore. You see the giant Bon Jovi display, and then the kid's looking at music, and he finds Bon Jovi playing the song, and you see all these actors impersonating what the current big artists were, like Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and all that.
Yeah.
It's so cheesy and funny. You're like, what? But
Yeah.
my favorite part of the song though is at the end when he steals that CD. You know,
I know. I love that.
so um,
I love that.
yeah.
I know it brings a lot of memories. The video. I take every time it came on air on TV. I take it. So I have this video with a lot of something for the pain. So it brings a lot of memories and it's really funny and I don't know. It just kind of gets me emotional and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
What's your favorite lyric from this song?
My favorite lyric. Wow, that's a tough one. Um, Probably. Um, yeah, it's hard, but probably I try to need someone like they needed me. When yeah, when I open up my heart, but all I did was sleep.
You
That it's like
stole mine.
no way.
Yeah, way you stole it.
Wow, I love that. It's just
Yeah,
I can't feel anymore. It's like I've given up. I just sleep if I open my heart. Yeah,
yeah.
I love it.
And so you kind of put this wall up again. It's kind of like relationships. You get hurt in one relationship, you're afraid to let that
Exactly.
wall down because you could bleed again. You can't handle it. So,
Exactly.
but you stole my favorite lyric. So
Wow, that's a
there's enough.
connection there. I love it.
Yeah. All right. Next one. This ain't a love song, which is the
Wow.
first single, which was released on May 30th of '95, written by John Ritchie and Desmond. My whole take on this, it's kind of like the perfect love song. If what I've
Absolutely.
done, if what I've done isn't enough, if the way that I feel isn't enough, this ain't a love. It's kind of like vulnerability. This is me. This is how much I love you. If that's not enough, I don't know what love is.
Exactly. You now you saw what I was gonna say. If this is not
Ah,
love, I don't know what is.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I love this song. When I first heard it as a kid, 8, 9 years old, I didn't feel it. But I think once I got into like relationships and stuff, I started to really feel it. And it's one.
Absolutely.
The music video was filmed in Thailand, I believe, and I think it added so much passion to the song because once I saw that video, it just added a lot of charisma to the song per se.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's like really powerful. The way they end it, when you see that John is sweating, Richie breathing, it's so powerful. And a
yeah.
funny fact, the way Tico is sitting there, like, someone give me something to do, please. I love
I
that.
know. It's funny you mentioned Tika because you look at John and Richie, they look like they're heartbroken and suicidal, and then you
Yeah,
got Tika just kind of chill there and just kind of just
yeah.
taking us
And lighting
home.
a cigarette, like, I
Yeah,
guess it's time to go, guys. Yeah, I
it's
love
so
it.
it's so funny. What's your favorite lyric? Let's see if you steal mine again.
Ooh, let me see. I don't know. This is a really hard one, but maybe, just maybe, the part of we were just legends in my mind, but the whole part. I love
Yeah,
the part.
yeah. Mine is you're really on your knees thinking you're thinking, but only fools
Oh
are
yeah.
know-it-alls, and I played that fool for you. I love
Oh
that line.
yeah.
And then it just gets heavy, more passionate, and you get into the pre-chord, then into the chorus, and I love it.
I know. Oh, and
And
you have to let me make a shout out to my best friend Natalia, who became a fan thanks to this song. So
I
Natalia,
love
I
Natalia.
love you.
She's
Yeah.
she is such a sweetheart, isn't she,
What
Natalia?
can I say? She's my best friend. We met in 1996 thanks to our guys here,
Yeah,
and it's one of the best things that happened to me, or the many things that happened to me because of being a Bon Jovi fan. And then Laura came into our little family, so I'm more than lucky. Yeah.
yeah. She's such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
One last thing about this song is I love the way that John performed it in the These Days tour, especially the live from London. Like when he throws his mic stand, he just talk about
One
adding
of my
passion to
favorite
this.
moments. I know. I know. I always say that has to hurt the knees, but that moment, that passion, that strength. My God, one of my favorite moments. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like we talk about, the song is pretty much about giving your all, and this is who I am, this is how much I love you, blah blah blah. He adds that to his performance too. I just
Absolutely.
incredible. I saw them play at MetLife. I think it was MetLife during the 2013 tour. It's the only time I ever saw it live, but it was incredible there too. He didn't throw his mic stand then, but still good.
Well, I
How
know.
you shows up.
Yeah, it's amazing. Actually, there was a radio DJ who was really good friends with John, who passed away unfortunately. And he always said when he presented this song, he said John didn't want to make a love song. Oh, hi, Kitty.
She's sneaking a cameo.
So he said, this ain't a love song. He doesn't want to make a love song, and he makes the best of love songs ever. So like this,
Yeah,
metaphor.
the
Yeah.
epitome of love song. Let's go to the
Yeah.
next track, These Days, which is
Oh,
the title of the album too. Fourth single, released in February 6th, 1996. It was written by John and Richie. Um, One of my favorite things about this song, though, is the beginning. It's kind of like that haunting sound of the pianos. Damn, it's so good. And
I
I've seen
know.
this live a few times. Like you never know that they're going into it, and then all of a sudden you hear the
I
the,
know.
the keys, and it's like, you know,
I'm trying not to cry here because
don't cry.
this is my favorite song. My
Yeah,
all-time favorite song, and it's always special when I hear this live. And
yeah,
the second night we were expecting it, and they played it. The last song was These Days, and my God, what a moment! So
yeah.
yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah, I think this is one of those songs that really kind of showcases what John and Richie were trying to achieve with the sound and the tone of the album and the meaning. Um, you know, this song is all about homelessness and feeling hopeless, lonely, end of innocence per se, just bad relationships, being in a dark place, dark world, And so I think this
Yeah.
is one of those songs that really kind of showcase what this album is about. And I think instead of it being a fourth single, I think it should have been the first or second, but
Yeah,
it wasn't.
absolutely. I think it's perfect. I mean, the beginning that you were talking about is just amazing how uh David can. That sound is so nostalgic and at the same time so uplifting for me. Uplift. It's, for me, it's the best sound ever. That beginning, my gosh, and the lyrics. It made sense to me then. It still makes sense to me now. My favorite lyric here, without a doubt, is "There ain't nobody left but us these days." Because
Oh,
when I became when I became a
love that.
fan, that's how I felt. Well, I was a teenager and all that drama. It was they became my home right away.
Yeah.
My house was those days was not much home, and they became my home. So that line there, that lyric, "There ain't nobody left but us," that touched me because for me it was true.
Yeah, and that lyric is so true today. Before we start recording here, we were talking about the pandemic, and
Absolutely,
it's so relevant right now because right now we've got to really stick together and do our part and watch out for each other because that's all that's left. You know.
absolutely,
Um.
absolutely. There, there's that. Oh,
Yeah.
are you
You
there,
disappeared.
Jerry?
I'm here. I see. Yeah.
Okay.
My favorite lyric of the song is "Don't you know that all my heroes died?" And I
Oh
guess
wow,
I'd rather die than fade away. You know, and
absolutely.
and to be honest with you, I think this is kind of that line. I'd rather die than fade away. I think that was coming from John personally because
Yeah,
he
yeah,
said many times that he was so worried that they were going to become irrelevant to keep
absolutely.
the faith there because they weren't filling stadiums and arenas and they thought they were kind of fading away. And, John still says today that he'd rather quit while he's ahead. You know,
I know.
um, but live, this song is really good live. What I actually enjoy seeing Richie play the song live. Him singing it, he sings the song so good.
Really, I haven't heard Richie sing this song.
Oh yeah, you can find it on YouTube. He does it so well. It's so good.
Well, I
Um,
have this thing with Richie where I can't listen right now to him anymore
yeah,
because it
well,
kind of hurts. But
yeah,
I will get
we'll talk
there. I
about
will
you
get
another
there.
time. Um,
Okay.
and this music video as well, kind of like Hey God, I don't think the music video really showcased the song very well either. I don't think the video really
Absolutely.
made, besides showing the band, it really didn't show how socially conscious the song was and all the problems in the world. It just kind of showed the band pretty much. But it's still a good video. But next one is Lie to Me. The
Amazing song.
third single released in November 29th of 95, written by John and Richie. This is one of those songs that kind of had to grow on me over the years. I do enjoy it now more than I did when I was younger. Um,
Mhm.
Mainly because I understand the meaning behind it. To me, this whole song is about it's kind of like another version of living our prayer. Coming from nothing, having
Absolutely.
nothing, and but having each other to get you through it. That
Absolutely. I think this is Tommy and Gina having a rough time.
yeah,
When years pass, and this is Tommy and Gina grew up and saying, we really got to hold on here because
yeah,
uh, we got each other, and that's what we have. So,
yeah,
and this is the '90s, and
yeah.
yeah,
I think it's a more of a ballad version of living on prayer. It's more of a dark song, but with optimism. Thinking
exactly,
we can get through anything as long as we have each other. Because
exactly,
you can say that your significant others is what pulls you through the hard days and the hard nights. And, like that one line in the song, rumor has it that your dad's coming down, he's going to pay the rent. Tell me this is as good as this life is going to get. I mean, those lyrics just really impact you.
absolutely,
Um,
absolutely. It's just And the video, I love the video to the song. The same as
No,
these days, and it's not, but I love the video to the song.
I do too, and I think it is, but I think it's the homeless kid that he becomes homeless. Is he the same
Hmm.
kid in the Something for the Pain video?
Yeah, he
He
is.
is? Okay, I
Yeah,
always thought that, but he looks a little different. But I'm like, that's got to be the same kid. And
yeah, he is.
yeah, but I love that video. It's amazing because he was becoming homeless, and he meets someone that was homeless, and she's in that world of being homeless, and it's like two worlds coming together. And love.
Exactly.
You know, showcasing love. Just because you're in two different worlds doesn't mean you can't come together. Unfortunately, it was a
Exactly.
worse way than a better. But
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
and my favorite lyric, it's a simple one. If you don't love me, lie to me. Because if it's kind of like, if I don't have you, I'm not going to be able to pull through. So the last thing I need
A-
right now is to be told that you don't love me anymore. And, you know, so it's
Absolutely.
a simple lyric, but with the song's meaning, it really has impact.
It's powerful. Yeah, I would say too a simple one, but a really good one. No, if you walk out of me, then darling, I'll be gone. No,
Yeah.
it's like you're the only thing I have, and it's enough that I need you. I
Yeah.
mean, if I don't have you,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
I mean, it's truly a romantic song too. Thinking that you can't survive without that person, and
Yeah,
it's really a beautiful love song in a way.
it
Um,
is.
but we'll go to the next one, "Damned," which kind of breaks away from what the rest of the album is about. I don't want to
Yeah,
say it's a more of a fun song, but it's actually a pretty good song, "Damned," written by John and Richie. Uh, what I
you can
like
really
about
see Richie's influence here in this
what's
song.
that?
I love Richie here. But
Oh,
I think you can see Richie's influence once again here.
yeah,
I love the guitar here. Richie here is it's absolutely
yeah.
amazing.
And people think I'm crazy when I say this, but if you listen to the guitar solo and then listen to the guitar solo to "Keep the Faith," they're almost identical in a way. They
Really?
sound they sound very similar. Yes. Listen to the damn guitar solo and then put on the "Keep the Faith" guitar solo. They're almost hand in hand. They're both great. They're different, but they're almost the same, which is kind of
Oh,
interesting.
I will do that. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just crazy, but I always thought that.
No,
Um,
no, maybe you have a point. Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, this whole song is about man with a married woman. She's very deceptive and cheating and stuff. And I always wondered, I wish John would have commented on the song more, because I always wondered how. Obviously, he didn't write this from his heart, but I wonder where he came with this inspiration of a song.
Yeah,
Like, who
me
was he
too.
writing this about? You know.
Yeah,
Um,
me
my
too.
my favorite lyric though: "His ring is on your finger, but my heart is in your hand."
Same here. Same
Yeah,
here. I love that lyric. I love
yeah.
that lyric.
And John's vocals too, especially at the end when he's screaming "damned." He's just. It sounds like he's pissed, but he's just singing "damn." You know, I love it. It's
Absolutely. And I gotta say, the version they played in Yokohama,
yeah,
wow,
I
one of
love
my
that.
favorites ever. Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. Um, I was gonna say, and so we talked about how this song is kind of different from the rest of the album, but I think it was kind of perfect to put in because it kind of breaks away from all the sadness and you know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
although being cheated on and all that, it's kind of very not
Yeah. It's
so
like here,
optimistic.
have this glass of water. You go on with the record, and then you can
Yeah,
go on. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Next one is "My Guitar Lies Bleeding in My Arms," written by
Masterpiece.
John and Richie. Uh, John has mentioned many times how this one kind of came from writer's block, that he had so much to say, but he didn't know how to say it. And like the one where, like, I've been trying to find a meaning so I could write it down. You know, and I think it's one of those songs that is, like I said in the beginning, it's one of those misery loves company type songs. Like
Mhm.
when I'm feeling sad or pissed off or whatever, I put this song on because like that misery loves company type. Let's be sad
Yeah.
together.
Exactly. Yeah, I love it, and I love the lyric. I get so numb sometimes that I can feel the pain. I guess uh that sums it up. It's like
Yeah,
what you said. I have so much to say, but that's lyric. I get so numb that I don't know how to put it there. I can feel it. I can. It's amazing. And the way it
yeah,
ends, the way it escalates, it
yeah,
starts like a ballad and it escalates so powerful at the end.
yeah. Oh
Absolutely
yeah.
amazing.
It's one of those songs that I think that you feel so low, like you have no feelings, and it's kind of more of like a suicidal in a way. You're like the one, staring out the window. It's such a long way down. I'd like to jump, but I'm afraid to hit the ground.
You hit the ground.
So when he says I'd like to jump, I think just the sense of jumping, taking a chance on something gives you a feeling, you know?
Exactly. The urge
Right.
to feel something. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but my favorite lyric is each day you're dying from the cradle to the grave. I get so numb sometimes that I can't feel the pain. I love that line.
Thank
Every time I
you.
listen to it, I always just sing along to it. And you said that's your favorite too?
Yeah, I get some. Actually, when I first started listening to it, I heard that I get so numb inside that I just feel the pain, and it made sense to me. But it was like, it's weird. And then I read, and I can't feel
Yeah.
the pain. And it was like, it totally makes sense. Yeah, it's my favorite too,
Yeah.
definitely.
Next one, it's Hard Letting You Go. This is actually my second favorite song on the album. It's one of those songs where you could be even in a great mood, but as soon as this song starts, it puts you into depression sometimes. I actually listen to
Absolutely.
It's a very sad breakup song, all about loneliness and being empty. And I actually listened to this song when I was going through breakups. Even as a kid, you thought it was the end of the world because
Yeah.
you're a kid, and but what do you know? you know. But this song was actually just written by John, and he actually wrote it for his first movie, Moonlight and Valentino.
Mhm. Yeah.
And,
It's so.
and
I love the song.
yeah, I think it's one of the best songs lyrically on this album.
Yeah.
The whole album is a genius lyrically, but this one really showcases how brilliant of a songwriter he is.
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree.
like I said, it's a very sad breakup song. Looking back in a relationship, and like the dog don't bark like it used to, or the sky shines a different kind of blue, you know.
The definition of a breakup of missing
Yeah,
someone. How he puts it there. It's like, wow. Just
yeah. My favorite lyric, actually, I wrote some notes here because I just there's so many amazing lyrics I want to talk about with you.
mhm.
One of the first one is, "It ain't no fun lying down to sleep, and there ain't no secrets left for me to keep. I wish the stars up in the sky would all just go in sick, and the clouds would take the moon out on some one-way trip." I think I got that right.
That lyric. It's
Yeah,
so beautiful.
and I think
So beautiful.
it's all about taking the brightness away at night so he can just be left in the dark where he feels. Um,
Yeah.
Another lyric that I really like is, "I drove all night streets that wouldn't bend, but somehow they drove me back here once again." All
That's
about,
mine.
hey, all about is trying to escape the pain and trying to stop thinking about her, but yet every time he thinks of
Exactly.
something, it brings him back to her memory.
And I think
Um,
it's amazingly written. Drove all night on streets that wouldn't bend. The image, you can imagine that metaphor. I think it's wonderful. I love
I
that
know.
lyric. I love
Yeah,
it.
and I'm glad you brought up the word metaphor because that's what this song is. It uses so much metaphors, and
Exactly.
like taking the moon and the stars out of the sky to feel completely dark. You know, the
Exactly.
memories driving you right back here once again. It's just amazing. I could praise John on this song all day
Yeah.
long, and it's so good live. I think the last time that they even did it was in 2010 at the O2, and it's just
Yeah.
so freaking incredible, and I
I
know
know.
John could still sing it, and I wish I want to see the song live one day. It's just like I said, I could
Me
praise the
too.
song all day. So, but
Me too.
let's go to the next one. This is actually my favorite song on the album, "Hearts Breaking You."
Really?
I
I
love
love
this
it.
song so much. It was written by John and Desmond Child, and I always thought, even in the fandom, I always thought this was very underrated as a song.
Absolutely.
I think John really shines on this album, especially vocally uh,
Mhm.
and lyrically too. It's funny. A side story here. I got this CD from my uncle when I was like 9 or 10 years old. He gave me his copy of These Days, and when I listened to track 9, uh, it skipped a little bit, and it skipped on in the first verse. It's a cold, 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 cold night, and then second verse is long, long night. It actually skipped on "It's Cold," so John would sing like 30 times, "It's cold, cold, it's a cold, cold, cold."
Oh my god.
And I didn't know it was skipping. I was like, why does he keep saying? So I just skipped the song. And like years later, I got another copy. I'm like, oh, it skipped. But he still says it like 5 times. But so that's a funny story. Um,
Yeah.
but the whole mean to this song for me is, calling it quits in a relationship and understanding that there's no use in trying to save it and just part ways. Basically, it's the end of a relationship. And the lyric, I think one of the reasons why I love it so much, not just because of how incredible his vocals are, but
Mhm.
the line, "Hey, I cried, yeah, I lied, hell, I almost died." Just when he says
Amazing.
that, it's kind of like "This Ain't a Love Song" when you're giving your all. So like in this song,
Exactly.
he gave his all in a relationship, and no good came out of it, that he almost died from all the heartbreak and
Exactly.
trying. So I don't know, it just hits me when I hear that line. It just adds a special touch. I don't think it'd be my favorite song if it didn't have that special touch, that line.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What's your
I
take on
love
this?
it. I would say I love this song. I just it's one of the songs that is whenever you sing it, you can keep up. I mean, your throat really hurts afterwards, and John's vocals are amazing in the song. And
Yeah.
I love, for example, when I cut you off, did I cut myself with the same damn
Oh,
knife? I love that lyric.
oh, that's
It's
so
like,
true.
oh, and then the part, broken hearts can't call it off.
That's my second. I was gonna say
It's
my
amazing.
that's my favorite line of this whole album. That's my favorite lyric. Is "Broken hearts can't
Yeah.
call the cops." Yeah, it's the perfect crime.
Yeah, because it is absolutely a perfect crime. I mean, what's
I,
to do? I
get
mean,
away with it. Yeah. But yeah,
exactly.
we'll never see this song live. I don't think John ever even played it live.
I don't think so.
No, but well, I know we never will. But it's one of those underrated songs that you wish had more spotlight to it. John probably forgot it even exists, but I
I
honestly believe
know.
it. Yeah. Next one, "Something to Believe In." It's my third favorite,
Wow.
written by John.
Wow.
Yeah, talk about it's like it's hard letting you go, and you listen to it, it puts you in a depression for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of like "Hey God" in these days. It's all about questioning the world and not having anything to believe in. Something to believe in.
Exactly.
And I think it's the darkest song on the album as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What's your what's
I
your
love.
what's your thought on this song?
Well, again, I have to say I love the version they played in Yokohama. I think it's
Oh,
the part where he goes, for John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, for Martin Luther King, and all those who believe, say hey, wow.
yeah.
That part,
Yep.
well, I have
Goose.
goosebumps right now, and it's amazing. I don't know. I can't find, for me, Bon Jovi. I mean, hope among other things. I can't find hope in this song. I can't, and even then, I think it's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
there are times when you're in a really dark position. and you're not asking for hope. You just want to scream. I need
Yeah.
something to believe in. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
tell me you're popes. Don't tell me you're no. I can't believe in that. I just need to scream that I
Yeah.
can't anymore. You know. I think
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. I couldn't have said it better myself. I agree. You know, one of the things I really love about this song too with Richie is when in the background, begin, hey, 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 and then
Amazing.
and, I really want to praise David and Tico here too because
Tico. Yeah.
Tico and David really blend together well here, especially the way Tico really pounds those drums towards the middle and the end of the song too.
So powerful.
My favorite lyric is I had lost touch with reason. I watched life criticize the truth. Here's the big one. Been waiting for a miracle. I know you have too. Like
Same
I
here.
said many times with this album, misery loves company. And that is one of those lines too. I know you've been waiting for a miracle. You haven't found one. I haven't found one. We're in this together.
I
So
know.
I love it. And it's so good live too. I think I've seen it
Yeah.
once. I think I saw it during the Bounce tour, but I was 10 years old. But
I know I saw it, but I can't remember the tour. I don't know if it was in Madrid '96. I have to look that up. But I haven't. I have seen it once. It's amazing.
it sure is. Next one is If That's What It Takes. It was written by John and Richie. I think vocally, I think it really resembled Hearts Breaking Even. I still
Yeah.
love the song very much. My fourth favorite on the album. I think John's vocals really shines here. It's very high and heavy, and
Yeah.
I love the way
Again,
he
you can
plays.
you can keep up. You can keep
Yeah,
up
yeah,
with that.
yeah. I love the way Richie plays his guitar here. The way David plays his
Yeah.
keys. And I think it's all about kind of like this ain't a love song. What do I have to do to prove myself? But I think it's like the stage before this ain't a love song. Trying to figure out what you need to do to prove yourself that that you understand you've both been hurt in the past and you're afraid to let love back in, and you're sacrificing everything and trying to believe in something good. So there's a touch of optimism in this album. I don't know if I'm making sense here, but that's how I always
No, totally.
portrayed the song.
I think
What are your thoughts?
I love it. I love especially the part. I think you're gonna agree here. So when you feel like jumping, just when your heart starts pumping.
You stole my lyric.
I know. I know.
It's amazing how we have the same favorite lyrics.
Yeah, but I mean it's so powerful. I always dedicate that one to to Natalia and Laura because that's how I feel about them. So I'll be there to touch down. I'll be there before you hit the ground. I mean.
And the way John sings that last part, I'll be there when you hit the ground, and
amazing.
then you hit the chorus. Oh, it's so good.
Amazing. Yeah. I think this is another underrated song. It's like, for me, it's like
No, go ahead.
No, it's like a second part to Hearts Breaking Even. Not that it makes much sense with the lyrics, but it's like kind of like inspiration, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. I love it.
Yeah, I think like you just said, I think it's another part. I would say it's Hearts Breaking Even Part 2, just the way it sounds.
Yeah.
With vocals and the instruments. But I'm glad both were put on the album. Last one we'll talk about is Diamond Ring. Now, before I get into it, it was written by John Ritchie, and I think Desmond Child also wrote on this one too. It was originally written and recorded during New Jersey in '88. And so a lot of people are in shock when it's not that I don't like this song. I do. It's just, it's one of those songs I don't usually listen to. I'm not too big on the album version. I love the New Jersey demo a lot more because it has I'm glad someone agrees with me because everyone else is crazy. I agree. There's more drums and more of electric guitar on the New Jersey demo. But what I do like about these days version is the way John and Richie harmonize together. That's one thing I like about it.
Yeah, it sounds absolutely amazing in acoustic. I mean, even if I agree with you, I think the lyrics are perfect for a acoustic ballad song. But I
Yeah,
agree with you. I prefer the New Jersey demo version, and I think it's really beautiful. But it has it's not that I don't like it. Like there are really few songs that I don't like from Bon Jovi, but it's not that I don't like it. It's just that it seems unfinished, maybe. Like after
I
this
completely
whole
agree.
record,
Yeah,
right? It's like after this huge, amazing record, uh, this song ends, and then in America it ends, record ends with. So it's like that was it. I mean, I kind of get that feeling, but it's really beautiful.
yeah. You know, I couldn't have said that better. I completely agree with you. Like you said, you have this album full of heavy songs, and it's a roller coaster of an album. And then all of a sudden, it kind of just calms you down. And maybe that was the way that John was trying to get you,
Yeah,
calm you
yeah,
down, and this is it. And it kind of breaks away from, like I said, 90% of this album was about the dark world, socially conscious. Then you had that 10% about love and breakups and all that. And this
yeah.
one kind of, is all about commitment, showing that you're true to your partner, and obviously, diamond ring wasn't flipping you off. The diamond ring. Um,
Exactly.
but I do like the lyrics. When you're crying, I'll be the tears for you. There's nothing that I won't do for you. But
Yeah.
like you
I lo-
said,
I love
it's one of those
I
songs
love
that I
I
just
love
yeah.
oh sorry, you were saying.
No, no, go ahead. You go ahead.
Sorry. No, it's just that I love the part of don't you know I bleed every time you sleep because I don't know if I'm in your dreams. I love that one.
I,
I
I,
really
I like that one too. But overall, this album is one of my. It's in my top five of favorite Bon Jovi albums. It's just it's so good lyrically, musically it's good, and we were talking about this. I wish I could have seen it live. This tour. But it's a great
I
album.
know.
So
It's amazing. From to me, it's a masterpiece and my favorite album. Although don't make me choose. Really, if someone actually came and said you can only listen to one album, I would say no way. But since that is not gonna happen, I would choose these days, and I think it's a masterpiece. It's-
yeah, it,
that's a line.
yeah, I am with you. But anyway, Penelope, I want to thank you for coming on today. I'm going to have you on again, and we'll talk about just being a fan and
Sure.
talk about our favorite band together. But thank you so
Thank you
much for
so much
coming
for
on
having
today.
me.
Yeah, we'll
Thank
see you.
you,
Okay,
Jerry.
stay safe.
Okay. Bye bye.